You think the Conjuring movies are just Hollywood horror? Think again. Before the Warrens were made famous by the films, they stepped into a real home with a real haunting that tore a family apart. The house was ordinary. The family was ordinary. But what lived inside that house? Anything but. This is the true story of the Smurl family. A haunting so intense, even seasoned demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren were terrified. And now backslash. It might be the real story behind The Conjuring 4. In 1973, Jack and Janet Smurl moved into a modest duplex on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. They were a working-class Catholic couple with 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and twins Shannon and Karen. The duplex was shared with Jack's elderly parents on one side. Life was simple. They were focused on family, faith, and making ends meet. But things took a turn when they started renovations. A leaky pipe, peeling paint, faulty wiring. Nothing unusual at first, but with every fix, something else seemed to go wrong. And soon the house felt off. Lights flickered. Unexplained bangs echoed at night. The air turned ice cold without reason. And then it escalated. The first major incident happened in early 1974. It started with a dark stain on the wall near the stairs. Janet tried to scrub it off. It vanished. But the next morning it was back. And then again. And again. No matter what she used, bleach, paint, even wallpaper, the stain returned. Like it wanted to be seen. Then appliances started to malfunction, but not in normal ways. Toasters burst into flames. The washing machine ran on its own at midnight. And the family radio? It played static and distorted voices, even when unplugged. Even the dog changed. It stopped eating, growled at empty corners, refused to enter the kitchen. Janet began hearing whispers, soft, breathy, saying her name. Then came the physical attacks. One night, Jack jolted out of bed with a sharp pain down his back. Janet pulled up his shirt. 3 deep, claw-like scratches were carved across his skin. They hadn't heard or seen a thing. At first, they dismissed it. Maybe stress. Maybe dreams. Maybe a coincidence. But their daughters were afraid. One night, 12-year-old Dawn screamed so loud the neighbors heard. Jack and Janet burst into her room. She was pointing at the corner. There was a man, she whispered, shaking. He was black, like a shadow. He stood there. And he smiled at me. By 1977, things turned violent. The smell of rot lingered throughout the house. Shadows moved without a source. Disembodied voices spoke in guttural tones. Jack reported being sexually assaulted by a suffocating entity in the basement. Janet said she was grabbed in the shower by something invisible. One of the twins was thrown from her bed. A chandelier nearly crushed the grandmother. Even visitors felt it. A neighbor came over and passed out near the stairs, claiming she heard someone screaming from under the floorboards. And the worst part? Every time they tried to talk about it, something new would happen, as if it was listening. By 1986, desperate and terrified, the Smurls contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. The couple had already investigated the Amityville horror, but this case, Lorraine would later say it was / the darkest presence she ever felt. Upon entering the home, Lorraine sensed 3 spirits. One was benign, one was angry, and one was inhuman. They called it a demonic infestation. And it wasn't just haunting the house. It was latching onto the family. A priest attempted to bless the home. The walls bled. Crucifixes flew from the walls. Growls echoed from the attic. Jack began to lose weight rapidly. Janet developed insomnia. The girls began sleepwalking. As the Warrens went public with the case, media swarmed. TV crews, reporters, skeptics. The family was accused of making it up, of seeking attention. But why would a working-class Catholic family subject their children to ridicule? To this day, the Smurls insist they never wanted fame. They just wanted peace. During one live TV interview, the lights blew out. Audio equipment fried, and a cameraman swore he saw a face in the static. The church remained skeptical, refused an exorcism, but the Warrens pressed on. They brought in Father McKenna, a retired exorcist who agreed to help. He performed multiple blessings. Each time, the activity would stop, only to return stronger the next week. In 1987, the attacks peaked. Janet was pinned to the bed for over 5 minutes. Jack began hallucinating. One of the twins stopped speaking entirely for 2 weeks. One night, the family awoke to the sound of all the windows shattering, but when they checked, nothing was broken. Just silence. And that smell of death. Father McKenna performed a final exorcism. He collapsed mid-ritual, shaking uncontrollably. But after that night, something shifted. The house grew quiet. The cold spots vanished. The scratching stopped. For the first time in 14 years, the Smurls slept through the night. The Smurls moved in 1988. They never experienced anything paranormal again. The duplex has since been resold multiple times. No new owners have reported similar activity. Jack died in 2017. Janet has stayed mostly out of the public eye. But in her last known interview, she said, "Whatever it was, it tried to break us, but it failed. We survived." The Smurl haunting isn't a campfire story. It's real. A documented case involving one of the most famous paranormal investigators in history. It may not have been turned into a blockbuster yet, but The Conjuring 4 is rumored to be based on this exact nightmare. If this story sent a chill down your spine, hit like and subscribe to Midnight Knocks, because the next true horror might already be inside your house.